questions. Just a reminder to no video, just still photography only. And we have microphone holders. We'll pass those over to you. And your cell phones, put those in silent if we have a new crew in here. Coach, we'll open it up to you.
All right, hello everybody. It's an honor to be here representing UC Irvine and our anteater basketball program, and I appreciate all of you being out here to cover it. I'm especially excited to be here in San Jose, where many of our fans can come join us. Fans of Irvine can come join us. And I'm also excited because there's so much Virginia flavor here, because I grew up in Virginia and I've lived out here for nearly 20 years now. It's nice to combine the hospitalities.
All right, we'll open to questions. Just hands. We'll go on the right, fourth row back.
Russell, got
Do your name and affiliate.
Mark Wicker from the Orange County Register. Two things: is Worker going to play, and also what do you carry over from last year's Kansas State game that might help you in this one?
Well, the first one's easy. Yes, he is going to play, assuming nothing unusual happens in practice today. You'll see him out there practicing. He practiced hard all week, and he's excited and raring to go. And I'm pleased that we, took care of him the way we did, and we now have him back. That helps us. And then your second question, what do we take from the matchup we had with Kansas State, more than a year ago? Number one, they're really good. They handled us and made the game very difficult for us to play well. They have mostly the same personnel. I feel like our personnel is very different, though. We have a lot of different guys on our team now. In many ways, I think we're better. I think our team was young, really young, when we played that game last year and improved tremendously over the course of that season and have improved even more this year. So I don't think the games are going to be similar, at least I hope not. I know that the game's going to be a defensive battle like we're used to playing in. We're just not used to playing in those battles against teams that are better than we are, like Kansas State is.
Go on the left, second row.
Yeah, John Kurtz with K-Man Radio. What is the most difficult part of the matchup with K-State, just in general terms?
Well, just their overall excellence. They're the Big 12 champions. They are an excellent basketball team. And specifically, they're excellent as a defensive basketball team, which is often the most frustrating thing to play against, is a team that can just shut you down. We're that team in the Big West. Kansas State's that team in the Big 12, though, and that's a different deal.
Go in the middle, third row.
Right, Riley Gates from GoPowerCat.com. Coach, when the brackets came out, you guys were kind of picked as that team to beat a high seed. A lot of people were predicting you. How have you kept the guys from kind of hearing that chatter and that talk and keeping them focused?
There's no way to keep them from hearing it, but I don't think that our guys would be foolish enough to think it means anything. Maybe it only means that people expected Dean Wade to not play. I don't know. Our guys are pretty sharp. They're smart, and they're competitive. So they want badly to be perceived as good. So there's some satisfaction when others seem to recognize that we're good. But we know we've got to perform in the rectangle, and that's hard. It's especially hard against a team as good as Kansas State. So hearing those things doesn't really mean anything, I don't think, to us. We're used to being the hunted in our conference. Everybody that we play in our conference wants to beat us. We held up good. We held up well to that pressure throughout the year. And I think we're going to hold up well to the pressure in this environment too.
Go on the right, second row, third row.
Josh Peter with USA Today. Hey, Russell. How do you think the Anteater stacks up against the other 63 mascots in the field, and what would you know about the animal?
Man, that is a great question. This is not even close. We've got the best mascot, I believe. There are no other Anteaters anywhere. We're unique. We're fun. We get people's attention, and I love that because I feel like our university could use more positive exposure. Growing up in Virginia, I didn't know anything about UC Irvine, but being a part of it now, I know what an incredible place it is. It's a world-class academic community. It's one of the best places in the world to wake up every day. in terms of the climate, the weather, the community. It's really special. Our anteater is special like that too. So I appreciate you acknowledging our mascot. We look forward to representing.
We'll go on the left front row.
Congratulations on the year, Coach.
Thank you.
I'm curious what your comments would be on Mr. Galloway, who has been Defensive Player of the Year in the league 3 times. That seems to be a monumental feat. And in addition to that, 18 wins to 30 seems like an incredible jump, even with a couple of 2 or 3 different pieces. So I would like for you to tell me why that happened. That's impressive.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks for asking. I'd love to talk about Jonathan Galloway. You know, to win the Defensive Player of the Year a 3rd time is a special accomplishment, an incredible accomplishment, really, when you think that he was able to win it as a sophomore first, and then to win it again and again. You don't have that occur unless you continue to improve. You don't win that award unless you're incredibly dedicated and a selfless teammate who lines up every day and stays durable and does a lot of different things to help your team win. So we're really proud of what Jonathan's done. And you guys have a 2-time, I think, Defensive Player of the Year too. So we know we're facing a perimeter version of him in Brown for Kansas State. I'm excited to see that unfold on the floor. You know, John is one of the most improved players that we have since that matchup against Kansas State in Manhattan. And in watching that game, it struck me how much more confident he is now as an overall player and how much better he is for our team. The other part of your question was? Just going from 18 to 30. Oh, yeah, going 18 from 30. Well, number one, the biggest factor in that's the schedule. You know, we scheduled in 2017, 18, you know, out of necessity, a lot of road games that were hard to win against good teams. And when you're forced into having to do that, like we feel like we were because of the sustained success we had, there's a good chance if you have a young team, you're not going to win. So our record wasn't very good in that season of 18 and 17, but we played for the championship of our tournament. We played for the championship of the regular season. We were a good team by the end of that season. We just had a hard schedule. But a lot has gone into our improvement. We've added better players to our roster since that game. We've got grad transfer Robert Cartwright, who's a 5th-year player for us, who's made us better. We've got Colin Welp, who redshirted during that season as a freshman, as a physically not yet fully developed freshman, who was our leading scorer in our last game of the Big West Tournament Championship. So we're better specifically with those 2 guys, and we've also added some better role players. So our team is different.
Front row, left.
Hi there, Coach. Matt Hall, K-StateOnline. I'm curious, as you prepare for K-State with the Dean Wade issue, do you look more at last year's run with the lineup they used in the tournament, or do you watch more of this year's tape and getting ready for that?
Both. Those guys made an incredible run last year in the tournament, and we respect that. They, some folks, you know, indicated that there was a chance they could be better in some ways without him. And you're not going to be better without a great player like Dean Wade, but in some ways they're better. They're different than what they were consistently when they had him. And I guess we don't know yet whether Dean is going to play or not, but we know they're a different style team without him, and they have different strengths and maybe some different weaknesses. So we're looking at different ways we might be able to give ourselves the best chance to compete and win.
Go in the back left there. Yes.
Mark Berman, the Roanoke Times. Russell, there were plenty of years at Irvine you had really good teams and were not able to get to this point. What does it mean to you as a coach to be able to coach on this grand stage and to be able to help your team and your school get to this point again?
Yeah, it's meaningful, Mark. I mean, to be, you know, on this platform, to be, you know, part of this experience. You know, people joked in 2015 that we had put UC Irvine on the map, and I always said, no, we didn't put them on the map, but we put them on a bracket. And a lot of people notice when you're on the bracket, and it gives an opportunity for our university to have positive exposure through incredible representatives of our place, and that's our players. I'm excited for that. You know, we've been close to making it this far a few times, but we accept that it's hard to get here. And that's one of the things that makes it so satisfying, not just for our players, but for our fans and our community. So this is special. This is a good thing. There are going to be a lot of people who graduate from UC Irvine who tune in 11 o'clock to watch us on TBS or CBS, whatever it is, TNT, True, I don't know.
We'll stay on that side.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato with the Mercury News. Russell, it's been a while, but you spent a lot of years with Mike Montgomery at Stanford and then with the Warriors. I wonder if you could sort of give us some specifics on how he influenced you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thanks for asking that because, you know, I've had great mentors in this game, really great mentors in this game. Mike Montgomery's a Hall of Famer. And, you know, he brought me into his staff without knowing me in 2000. And that is really, really rare. Like, I've been like maybe the luckiest guy that I know in coaching because that happened to me at Wake Forest with Dave Odom and then happened to me again with Mike Montgomery at Stanford. And the program that I joined at Stanford in 2000 was impeccable. It was outstanding. It was the most had the most solid foundation of any program in the country at that time. And to see how he had built that in a place where others had thought that basketball success was not likely was fascinating for me because it was so different the way he had done it than the other coaches I had worked for. And I learned more from Mike at that stage in my life than I had from any other coach. And it's been fun to apply many of those things that I've learned at UC Irvine because in many ways we're similar. We're academically demanding. We had not had a history of success. There were others in our community who thought that maybe, you know, basketball wasn't likely to be good at Irvine where we were, and we've turned that on its head, just the way that Mike did at Stanford, and then went on to do again at Cal. So, you know, Mike's influence on me is not one that I can easily, you know, measure. It's so great, and I'm really, really appreciative of him.
Second row on the right.
Ryan Black with the Manhattan Mercury. This is kind of a two-part question, Coach. I guess first off, just what are you expecting just in terms of logistically? I mean, you guys are closer to this arena, so in terms of fan support for the game tomorrow. And then secondly, have you talked to your players at all, just if this is close to the end, people want to see the upset so that this might turn into somewhat of a home game for you guys?
Well, you know, it's a game in California, you know, which is where we play most of our games. And when we come here to the Bay Area to play, we often have good fan support. And it's not ever been the NCAA tournament. You know, the NCAA tournament attracts a different level of support and interest. When we went to the tournament for the first time in school history in 2015, we had an outstanding following in Seattle. And we also played an early game, I think also on Friday. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get great support. I'd be surprised if we don't. It's spring break now at Irvine, or exams are finishing now. I got a couple guys who are finishing this morning. So what I'm hoping is that there's some student support, you know, that comes our way because kids can finish their exams and roll up here and start spring break, you know, as part of the big dance. I think there wouldn't be anything more fun than that. So hopefully there'll be a lot of folks here following us, and we can create a good atmosphere. I don't think it'll be like a home atmosphere, though. It won't be like that because I know Kansas State has great following, and most of the schools that are here in this sectional have great followings.
Okay, sorry. And following up on his question earlier about the mascots, in terms of another name question, where do you think Max's name ranks in the all-name team of college basketball?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't given that any thought. I love Max Hazard. I know that. And he does have an unusual name. I don't know too many guys with two Z's and an X in their name.
Any additional questions? Additional questions? Nope. Okay, we're good. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.